Welcome back. It's your boy Fresh.
And I'm Mary, and we are a Co-ople of nerds. And Generation Pixel tagged us to show you our top 10 most memorable video games. Mm-hmm. So, with couples like us, it's 5 and 5. But before we begin, don't forget to give us a like, a subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So this is a challenge by Generation Pixel where we were tagged, but it was actually started by Sega Blocks, so shout out to Sega Blocks as well.
That's right. So, this is the second time recording this video. The first one was lost, so I'll go first this time. We have new lighting en route, so I kind of got a hard shadow on my face, but should be here Wednesday. So my first is a game that I played with Schultz, Gumby, Brandon, David. We infamously drilled a hole in an apartment floor so we could run the cable from the downstairs to upstairs so we can get two Xbox hooked up via LAN cable to play some Halo 2. And you can see I still got the do not sell before, what is that, 11/9/04?
I know.
Just
I can't believe it's been that long.
We got it the day it came out. Went there at midnight. And another funny story about this game is we had one, I think it was a Mad Catz controller that sucked, and then 7 regular Microsoft Xbox controllers. And that controller couldn't turn left. And so we would just make
the left.
The left stick didn't work, or turning left, so you could spin right. So if you're running down a hallway and you need to turn left, you would spin, what is that, 270 around
360.
No, 360 be facing
I see what you're saying.
Same direction.
Yeah.
But and then if you didn't have the bag controller and you got up to use the restroom or get a drink or anything, your controller got stolen. So
I can't turn left. So, my first memorable game is on the NES, and it's actually Super Mario Brothers. Mm-hmm. Although the other two were nice memorable mentions, but Super Mario Brothers is the OG. We were one of the first houses in the neighborhood to get a Nintendo, and so then it was so much fun because this was our first game,
right.
And all the neighborhood kids came over and we would all play and everyone wanted to check it out. Mm-hmm. And I probably have the first level memorized, and nothing beyond that because I didn't know how to play video games. I was so young at that time, and I couldn't beat it, so I could play through the first level, and that was about it.
When's the last time you went back to it?
When we got the Mini.
Okay. Well, yeah, the Mini has a little bit of a delay on it, so
yes.
I think because I never had a Nintendo growing up, so I have very little real playtime with Super Mario Brothers. I mean, I played it at friends' house and stuff, but typically just messing around. So we might have to give that one a go. See if we can beat it.
Mario's are always like all my favorite games are Mario games, and so that's what it started with Super Mario Brothers.
Right. So my next game, a good friend of mine, Kirby, and I decided to beat it on every difficulty possible. I believe there's 4, and that 4th difficulty, it's like, I don't know, it's called Nightmare or Insane or Chaos or something over the top. And the first 3 levels were, they progressively got harder, obviously, but we played the game so much that we got really good at it. But that last level, or that last difficulty, when you're in the truck and you're driving and the other person has to control the light, but if you die at that one, if the truck blows up, you both die at the same time, so you can't resurrect the other one. And so you just have to start over. And we played that level so many times, I got so pissed off. Eventually we beat it, and then we finally get to the last boss, and he keeps wrecking us and wrecking us and wrecking us. And then I swear, we're like, all right, we're just going to play it one more time, then I'm going to go home. I'm done with this game. I've had it. And, you know, Kirby dies. I don't have time to resurrect him because the guy's coming on the train. He's right in front of me. I hit the perfect reload timing and just unload right into his face, like slowly backing up, just shh. And I swear he goes to hit me and kill me, and it must have been like the last bullet that hit him in the face was just enough. I thought we died at the same time, but it ended up
giving like a hero action movie.
That's right. It ended up giving us enough credit to have defeated that guy that it let us get the final cutscene. But I love the Gears series, and this is the one that started it all.
And I attempted to play it with you. Not very good at the two sticks.
No, she's getting practice. We're playing It Takes Two, which is a much more calm game.
Yeah.
So she's getting practice.
Yeah.
But
not too bad.
Gears of War.
So my next up is for the Super Nintendo, because after we got the Nintendo, then of course we ended up getting the Super Nintendo, and
poor kids like me are crying.
We were spoiled children. I had a very nice childhood. Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
This game was probably the first violent game that we had ever seen. I mean, you know, you squash creatures and stuff in Mario, but this is like you're pulling people's...
Well, not in this version. So
well,
the Sega version, you could do the fatalities. Super Nintendo did not have fatalities.
There was still blood.
There was still blood. Oh, wait, no. No, it wasn't blood.
There's no blood? Then maybe we had this. So.
You might have the Sega version then.
I know
they had
for
a Sega
fact.
and a Super Nintendo.
So, but yeah, it was like the first violent game that we had seen, and it was so much fun to also play with our friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came out with a movie, which sounds absolutely ridiculous. It wasn't a good movie at all, but we were just so excited that it was like, oh, they made a movie out of one of our video games, and I was a big fan of Scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
So.
My memory of that is the arcade, standing in those, there'd be two giant lines of Mortal Kombat, basically the left fighter, the right fighter, and everyone would just walk in, pop in their quarter, and you got to fight until you died. And I was more of a Johnny Cage man. I liked the split ball punch, and he had the most
It's definitely
specials.
a classic, though.
It is a classic. I mean, there's been 11 of them, plus some spin-offs, so it did all right. So my next game is a game that, the reason it's memorable, I've played this game a lot, but we bought the NES Mini, and at that point in time, our daughter was probably 6 months old, roundabout, and so I would come home from work, and I would sit down and play Final Fantasy 1. I actually don't have it on Nintendo, which was really surprising to me. But anyways, she would sit on my lap, and we would play the game, and then Mary would clean up around the house or get the bottles ready or do laundry, you know, lots of stuff. But Gracie would sit there, and then she'd reach out to the controller, and it was fine because it's a turn-based game, so you can't really mess it up by hitting an extra button.
And you tried to name the characters after our family members?
Yep. Named all the characters after our family members.
And he had just about beat he was about halfway through the game.
About halfway through.
And the Mini glitched and lost all of his data on his game, so he had to start over. And you were really, really upset.
I was really upset.
You gotta go back and do it again. I think I have faith in you. You can get back to where you were. And then you ended up beating it.
Yeah. Everyone knows that game's got a lot of a grinding. So when you lose your progress and have to start all the way over, it's just exhausting.
It's painful.
Yeah.
It was painful to watch you have to start all over again.
Yeah.
But I think it was still fun for you.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it. I love, Gracie sitting there holding the controller with me. It was a lot of fun.
So my next one is on PlayStation, and this is also a classic. Everybody knows this one. And that is Resident Evil.
You get longer arms.
So one of my best memories with this one, obviously, they also made this into a movie, and it's just how scary it was. So this game was so scary that when my brother got it, he woke me up in the middle of the night to come into his room and just be in the room while he played the game because he was too scared to be alone when he played the game because of how scary it was.
I remember my cousin bought this game because I didn't have a PlayStation at launch, unlike some people.
My brothers paid for their own. At that point in time, my oldest brother had a job.
Okay.
And he paid for his own. He's older than me.
I remember he got it, and we went back to his house, and we shut off all the lights, and he, fired it up, and we're kind of like that early action scene with like the dogs and the field. You're kind of like, what is this? And it looks so real. And then you kind of get into the game, and then that zombie does that slow turn.
Oh, yeah.
After it just ate your teammate and starts looking back at you. And I was like, oh, buddy, this isn't a Sega game. Here we go.
Well, the whole Resident Evil series is just absolutely fantastic. And even, the newer one that you played.
Yeah, the remake of 2 and 3.
Yeah. Awesome. Totally awesome.
Yep. Lots of fun memories of Resident Evil. Speaking of fun memories, this one's actually pretty new. Got Super Mario 3D World. So, the best memory with this game is me, Mary, and Retro Mikey 78 playing it in the basement. He was in town visiting family, which is his hometown. It's the same hometown as us, Indianapolis. And he hit us up and said, hey, I'm going to be in town. Let's get together and game. And he streamed it on his channel. We haven't really went down the streaming path yet. It's because we suck at technology. Obviously, you could tell I look like Two-Face with this side so dark.
I don't think we suck at technology. Let's be clear about that. I don't really suck at technology. Just maybe social...
social technology?
Yeah, like the
streaming and
yeah,
we suck at our Facebook and Twitter. We don't post enough or talk about ourselves. It's awkward to talk about yourself, like, hey, come watch me. I know a lot of people do it and they have a lot more successful channels than me, but it just makes me feel personally awkward.
I'm not the best social networker, but technology wise, I'm an engineer. I have to be at least somewhat good at it. Okay,
Mary will set up our next live stream.
That means I have to learn something new.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to learn anything new. I don't have any brain space left. So my next one is on the Wii, and it is Wii Sports. So, it sounds pretty basic and boring, but we got the Wii. I was just out of college. I got a Wii, and of course this comes with the Wii. And just playing this game with our neighbors every night, drinking beer, and we just had a blast. We had so much fun. And even their grandma lived with them. Even Granny would come out and join us and play. We like to do a lot of bowling, although we would do the golf, we would do the frisbee golf, all of that. And it was just so much fun and so relaxing. It was just kind of at your leisure. But of course, we could also be competitive about it. Right. But that's kind of what got me back into gaming more as an adult. After, being into gaming with my brothers when I was younger, and then, back in college, after college, getting my own system, the Wii, which that was basically the only game that we got for it. It was the only game we felt like we needed for it. Although I did download Super Mario World on it.
Oh, okay.
Because you could download games onto it. So I downloaded that and played it, but yeah, just so much fun and so many good memories.
Yeah. I notoriously hate motion controls, so I never went down the Wii path. So I played it at work. We used to do March Madness bowling tournaments.
Oh, really?
And so
on the Wii?
Yeah, on the Wii.
That's awesome.
So my next game kind of goes along the same lines of Final Fantasy 1. This is Mario Golf Super Rush. And basically, what's so memorable about this game is this is the first game I got to play with my daughter and our oldest son, Max, and Mary, all at the same time.
A family affair.
Right. It's slow paced enough that a 4-year-old can play it. All she has to do, really, I would line up her shot, and then she would just, figure out how strong to hit it, do the power meter.
She was pretty good at it, though.
Yeah. She, way better than you would have thought. I think she beat Mary consistently. And if she's playing, she's Princess Peach. No arguing.
Nobody else is allowed.
No one else is Princess Peach. So just remember that. But no, it's the first game I got to play with my daughter. So
yeah, and that's a great family game that we are excited to continue to play. With our youngest who's only 2. Once he finally gets into gaming, we can all play together.
And once she gets a little more comfortable with joystick, and then we can do the mad rush where you hit it and then have to run and go get your ball and hit it again.
No, we played that one with our oldest, but we couldn't play that one with her just yet. So
a little too involved.
Yeah. So my last one is on the Xbox 360, and this was a game that Fresh and I enjoyed very early on in our relationship. And this is Diablo 3. Mm-hmm. So I absolutely love this game. This is the first game I ever beat. And
I carried her.
So it was so much fun. He was like, I wasn't too good at gaming, and I'm still not very good at gaming. And he was like, well, this one I think you could really get into because it's really not that hard, and we work together, so I can help you if you have any issues, and I think you'll really like it. And I was reluctant, but we tried it, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And then it got to the point where we had to play the game every single night, or I would get angry. You're like, no, I'm too tired. Nope. You get downstairs. We're playing Diablo. We're playing Diablo because I got to play this game. I love this game.
Right.
And so ever since then, I have this obsession with Diablo 3.
And then we used to fight over the treasure. So just mid-battle, some big fat
You're letting me die.
We just
and I'm trying to get the treasure.
Don't believe that. We both just take off and run to the treasure, especially if you saw that big sky beam where it was something, a mythic, I think is what they call it, or legendary or something like that. I had a knife that always bled. It's like, how metal is that? This knife just constantly bleeds. We need to play it again. We do have the, what do they call it, the definitive editions with the 2 download packs. I think we got that on Xbox One, though.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
So we need to get another run of that in. We were really disappointed Diablo 2 did not have couch co-op, so we just boycotted it. We're like, no.
Yeah. No. If we can't play couch co-op, there's no reason for us to play it.
We did get Diablo 1 on PlayStation.
Yeah, we played some of that.
It's a little rough. I think it's not nearly as smooth.
It's not nearly as smooth. It's very, very, very similar to Diablo 3. Other than it's just not
very slow.
Yeah, it's slower and just not as smooth. So it's like, well, I could play this exact same game, but just so much better.
Right, yeah.
If I just play Diablo 3.
We will eventually beat Diablo 1. We'll probably need the kids to get a little bit older so we can get a little more free time.
Yeah.
It's tough to play those big epic games night after night after night. Whereas like, Mario, if you skip a couple days, it's not like, oh, I forgot the story. Wait, was the princess in the last castle? Like, oh no, she's not in that castle. That's right.
It's a linear story with Mario. So.
Right, but this, you have characters and fetch quests and things like that. So we want to give a big thank you to Generation Pixel for inviting us to do this. It's a lot of fun going down memory lane. We're going to put out an open tag. If anyone wants to do this, go ahead and copy a link into our comment section and spread the word. It's a lot of fun to think about the good old days and the games you played. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Bye. We're going to get better lights, I promise. Hey, Pumpkin.
Yeah.
We moved to the dark side of the basement.
It's a beautiful side of the basement when it's done.
Yeah. So if you notice the beautiful door behind me doesn't have the trim up. Talk about anything.
Talk about anything?
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that there's this door behind us that doesn't have the trim around it and it's driving me absolutely nuts because it looks hideous.